Quazi here, and in this video we're going to do a revisit of one of the most important control functions that you have, which is attention, and it really helps you influence your reality however you want it. Before I begin this video, I wanted to announce the winner of the Life Mastery book from last round, and it's Lena. Congrats, Lena. You won a free copy of Life Mastery. Just message me at quazi@quazijohir.com and I'll get you set up. And also reply to the comment that I posted from your last video. And again, if you guys want a chance to win this book for free, it's $12 on Amazon, or you can get it completely free if you just comment Life Mastery down below, and then you'll be enrolled in a competition for next week. And on next Thursday or Friday, I'll be announcing the winner again. Also, I wanted to announce that the Reality Mastery program is open for enrollment and we're offering free consults right now. So wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. With that, let's get started with this video. So in this video, I want to talk to you about a control function that we all possess, and this is attention. And attention and consciousness can be directly related. So what's happening right now is most of our attention is either drawn into two different screens. And before I go into that, let's talk about why attention is so important. So what's happening right now is there are different frames of reality that are being illuminated. So if you imagine reality like a film reel, and everything that's happened from the beginning of time and everything that's gonna happen in the future, it's all a big film reel. And right now, one frame is being illuminated. So from Vadim Zeland's new book, Tufti the Priestess, this concept comes up. And what he describes reality as is something that has never been and never will be. Therefore, it's that thing in the middle, that one thing in the middle, and this one frame that's being illuminated right now. So remember that reality is this exact moment, this tiny sliver from the eternity archives that's being illuminated right now and being shown on the screen. So, just like that, there are different screens that we possess. And your attention right now is either focused on what is known as your inner screen or your outer screen. And the biggest problem right now is when people are doing things unconsciously without their attention under their control, the efficacy of any action that you take is only 5 to 10%. Now, I'm sure you don't want unconscious actions and that effectiveness of 5 to 10% in anything that you do, because I certainly don't. And that's why I'm talking about this concept right now. So we're going to revive this concept from the last video, but if you haven't checked that out, it's up here. And I've done some improvements on this based on my experience of using attention and molding attention, and also using it in the Reality Mastery program, the way I teach it to my clients and the way they're getting results in their own lives. So I'm going to share that with you right now, what I've exactly shared in my program. Let's begin with the concept of the two screens. So right now there is an inner screen that you possess and an external or an outer screen. And what's happening is, your attention is either too focused on your inner screen, which means that things that you are thinking about and whatever thoughts, doubts, what you're going to do next, what you did in the past, etc., etc. And that's your inner screen. When you focus on what's going on inside of you, you're focused on the inner screen, and your attention is on the inner screen. When you're focused on the outer screen, that means you're focused on something that's outside of you. Maybe you're completely immersed in some sort of work and you're just lost in some homework, or you're just lost in some schoolwork or whatever work that you're doing. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're taking care of the kids, etc., etc. You're just completely lost in whatever activity and completely immersed in whatever activity you're doing. So that's your engagement and your attention placed on the outer screen. So at any given moment, your attention is either on the inner screen or the outer screen. So what happens is, when your attention is on either of these two screens, it's no longer under your control. So you don't really have the choice to place it wherever you want. And when your attention is on these two screens, you become very reflexive. You get very reactive. You're just instinctually acting. You're not really thinking about what you're doing. Have you ever noticed that sometimes, you just forget what you were doing? You switch tasks and you're supposed to do something else, but then you get distracted. And then you forget what you're doing in the first place. That's because your attention wasn't under your control and it was focused on that external activity that you're doing and the external screen. So with that, your attention is focused right now on either your outer screen or the inner screen. And the only way to get your attention under your full control is to bring it to the center of these two screens. So let's say your attention is on the inner screen or the outer screen. Then if you can bring it to its center, then you'll get full control of where you want to place it. Because remember that attention is just like a ball of light. And if you place this ball of light on any area of your life, it will blossom. So the key is to always bring your attention to its center. And I'm going to share with you an exercise that's helped me, countless other clients, people, my family, my friends, to bring their attention to their centers and also get in control of their lives. So, bringing your attention to your center is akin to waking up in reality. When you wake up in a dream, then you're able to do crazy things. You get into a state of lucid dreaming and you're able to control any single thing in that dream. So, if you ever had the chance of waking up in a dream, try to ask a character in your dream who they are. And, they won't be able to tell you who they are. They'll just say what kind of part they're playing because they're not awake. Those characters in your dream are not awake. So in that way, I don't want to get into any sort of woo-woo stuff right now, but in that way, if you wake up in a dream, you can control everything in it. No one in that dream will say, I am myself. Only you can say that because you are awake. So just like that, if you wake up in reality, you gain this magical quality to your character and to yourself. You gain the power of consciousness and your attention is back under your control. It's at the center. So then, people will just look at you weird, but they'll kind of like this thing that they're seeing in you because no one really is under control of their attention. Most people are just in that zombie-like daydream that they're just going about their daily tasks every single day. And that's exactly what I don't want for you. And that's why I share all of these videos, so you can become the master of your own reality. So with that, let's talk about how we can get our attention under our control. So we discussed that, you need to bring your attention to its center to get it under control. And there are basically two exercises, or one exercise in two different parts that's going to help you do this every single day. Now, to get your attention under your control, you need to understand this concept of triggers. And what a trigger is basically a way of you to habitually bring your attention to its center continually throughout the day. So before beginning with the exercise, let's talk about the two types of triggers. First of all, there's an internal trigger. And an internal trigger is when before you do something, you remember to wake up. And by wake up, I mean the three exercises that's going to follow in that second subset of exercises I'm going to share with you. I hope this isn't getting too complicated, but part A is learning the two triggers and part B is waking up. So I'm going to share part A first, which are the triggers, and understand these triggers properly, and then we're going to talk about part B, which is waking up. So let's talk about part A first. And there are two types of triggers. There's the internal trigger and the external trigger. Internal trigger is before you do something, you remember to wake up, aka do part B. By wake up, you do part B. So before you brush your teeth, you remember to wake up. Before you change any activity to do something else, you remember to wake up. Before you're about to leave for class, you wake up. Before you're about to go to work, you wake up. Before you do something, you wake up. An external trigger is after something happens to you, you wake up. If there's a car crash around the corner in the street, you wake up. If, your friend calls you or messages you on your phone, you wake up. And these are the two types of triggers. So remember the definitions of these. Internal triggers, before you do something, you wake up. It's not going to work if it's after you do something. So before you do something, you remember to wake up. External triggers, after something happens to you or around you, you remember to wake up. Is that clear? So now let's continue to part B, which is a 3-step exercise that's going to help you to wake up. Step 1 is trigger. Notice the trigger. Whether it's external or internal, notice the trigger. Step 2, ask 3 questions. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? So right now, just take a second to ask these 3 questions. We're going to bring our attention to our centers. So just take a second to look around you, ask these 3 questions. Who am I? And where am I right now? Well, I'm making a video. What am I doing? Making a video in my room. And step 3 is to get into full realization of this. So step 1, notice the trigger, internal or external. So, my trigger right now is an internal trigger because before I'm saying my next word, before I'm doing this, and my doing is saying my next word, I'm remembering to wake up. And then I do steps 2 and 3 after my trigger has been set off. So step 2, ask the 3 questions. Step 3, get into full realization of these 3 questions. You get into full realization of these 3 questions when you can say, I know where I am now and I know what I'm doing. And I know who I am. When you can confidently say that, you get into full realization of it. And in this simple manner, you can gain full control of your attention. And you can bring it to its center effortlessly time and time again throughout the day. So I hope this made sense. I hope this exercise made sense. It's a simple exercise, but it's very, very powerful. So do not forget to do this every single day. Now, what I recommend is to do this in 2 forms. So first of all, you do part B as soon as you wake up first thing in the morning. Because whenever you're feeling shitty and you're just not in a good mood, this is not going to work. Like, try to bring your attention to its center when you're feeling crappy. When you're feeling tired, when you're feeling just in a bad mood, this is not going to work. Your mind is just going to be reactive, and it's just going to go to thinking about the problems, thinking about getting rest, thinking about eating food. Whenever all your desires are replenished, aka first thing in the morning, then you can completely reinforce this habit. And again, the morning time is the best time to reinforce any habit. So that's why I always recommend doing meditation, doing yoga, whatever it is, first thing in the morning. Once you do it first thing in the morning, you sort of make it a habit. It can become a habit much more easier. So just wake up and then ask these 3 questions and then get into full realization of it. So do part B as soon as you wake up. And what you're going to do is, once you get into that waking state where you bring your attention to its center, try to hold this state as long as possible. Because I promise you, if you can hold this state for even an hour, you'll see magical things will start to happen in your reality. Like, most people can't do this. Most people, myself included, I can't probably hold it more than 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes max. And then I fall asleep again, and then I wake up, fall asleep, wake up. And you don't have to hold it for that long, but if you can, then that's fantastic. But just get into a habit of waking up and not into a habit of falling asleep. So, every single day you want to get into a habit of asking these 3 questions, noticing the trigger, and then waking up. And once you do that, you get into the habit of bringing your attention under your control. And again, you're going to have to set this as a goal to do this every single day. So now I again challenge you to do this for the next 40 days. And why the 40-day number is significant is because in Ayurveda, there's this concept known as a mandala. And a mandala is a period of time which ranges between 40 to 48 days in which, Ayurvedic doctors used to prescribe medicine, and in order for it to become a part of your system, it takes 40 to 48 days. And that's why we also have the concept of quarantining. Whenever there's a virus, you take 40 days off so it kind of leaves. It takes that amount of time to completely eradicate a system of, any external pathogens. So that's why the concept of 40 days comes about. I used to incorrectly think that it's 21 days, but it's actually 40 to 48 days that it takes for a habit to settle in and become a part of your system and to show its effectiveness. So try it out for 40 days and write down challenge accepted down below if you actually want to do this. And let's see what kind of results you get out of doing this. So just to recap this whole video, we talked about the 2 screens and the importance of bringing your attention to the center of these 2 screens. So you have the inner screen and the outer screen. Inner screen is when you're completely engaged with your thoughts and whatever's going on in your inner screen inside. Outer screen is when you're completely engaged with an external activity that you're doing. And bringing the attention to its 2 centers means you're waking up and you're getting completely aware that you're not either thinking about this, neither engaged in that, but rather the attention is in the center. So now you can, consciously place it wherever you want to. And, you can hold this state and do activities in this state too, which is much more effective than, getting lost in your thoughts and lost in the source, if you will. So we talked about the inner screen and the outer screen. We talked about 2 triggers, the internal trigger and the external trigger. Internal trigger is when, before you do something, you remember to wake up and ask the 3 questions. External trigger is after something happens to you, you wake up, ask the 3 questions. And then finally, we talked about part B, which is the waking up process itself. You're gonna do 3 steps. Step 1, notice the trigger. Step 2, ask the 3 questions. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Step 3, you get into full realization of these 3 questions. And until you can say confidently, I know who I am, I know what I'm doing, and I know where I am, then you've actually fully woken up. So get into full realization of this. And as a challenge to yourself, try to hold this state for as long as possible. You'll see people will react differently to you. You'll almost be like an alien, but with a charming quality. Like if you can just go through a stroll or a walk and you just hold this waking state of consciousness and you observe life as though it's a movie, you'll see you'll gain a different kind of quality to it. As a challenge, try to enter a shop or something, go talk to your friends and hold this waking state. You'll see they'll react differently to you. And I encourage you to try this out and experiment with this because remember, reality is your playground and we're all masters of our reality if we choose to be. So with that, thank you for watching this video. I sincerely hope this helped. This is by far one of the most powerful concepts that I've come across, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. And I'll hope you try it out. Write down challenge accepted if you accept the challenge and you are actually going to try this out. And let's do this for the next 40 days. I'm excited to announce that I'm also growing a massive Facebook group. We have around 1,200 members now, so just click on the link below to join. I would have been grateful to have a group like this when I first started off with the Law of Attraction. There are some great members who are contributing great value, and I'd love for you to be a part of this community. So just click on the link in the description below to join. Also, as mentioned before, the Reality Mastery Program is open for enrollment. And what the Reality Mastery Program is basically tapping into the most powerful paradigm of manifestation, because I found that in my personal life, it didn't matter what Law of Attraction technique that I did. When I focused on becoming and being the version of myself that gets that thing, when I focused on becoming an attractive version of Quazi, then I manifested my dream girlfriend. When I focused on becoming the entrepreneur, the Quazi that creates 7 videos in a week, then I became that Quazi who becomes successful in entrepreneurship. When I focused on becoming a 4.0 GPA student and embodying the characteristics of that 4.0 GPA student, then I actually got a 4.0 GPA in school. So just through becoming and being, you can manifest whatever it is that you want in your life. And I'm not talking about little changes in your life, like, $1,000 here and there, and I got a parking space, because that's what I used to get before too, but I realized that I wanted transformative changes instead. And that's why I created this program, because it's going to be a complete transformation in the reality that you're experiencing right now to the reality that you wish to experience. So if you're interested, definitely click the link in the description below to sign up for the free consult. And again, I'm not going to hold this free consult for too long. It's May. That's why we're keeping this program open for a while until we get some new students. So if you're interested, sign up for that free consult. It's going to be around 45 minutes to an hour long, where we're going to diagnose your current Law of Attraction practices and see if identity shifting is a right fit for you. So if you're interested, definitely click on the link in the description below to sign up for a free call. I'm not going to offer this for too long. It's going to go down in very quickly. So again, thanks for watching. Hope I see you at the free consult and also the Facebook group. Till next time. Peace.